1.5 years ago, I discovered the Legion of Hero 12 series, and I would say I fell in love with it instantly. Recently, I finished the last game of the series, at least for now, 12 to Daybreak 2. But now that it's done, which one game I hated and liked the most? Well, today I'm gonna answer that. Hello everyone, it's me, Panagon Vanemar, the Dragon Cyborg for another world, and in today's video, I'm gonna rank every games of the 12 series. Be warned that it would be, of course, spoiler. So if there is some of the game you didn't do yet, you should skip the part about it. Now that it's said, let's get started.
Heed my call! Valimar, the Ashen Knight!
The first game in the entire series, Trail in the Sky 1. I really liked the look of old RPG, and I quickly fell in love with the two main characters, Elcel and Joshua. I'd admit the first two chapters were kind of boring for me, but once chapter 3 began, things got really interesting. Learning about Richard coup d'etat and a mysterious Armand was quite interesting. Lebel is such a charming place, and I enjoy it as Elcel and Joshua adventure. I love most of the party members, except maybe for Shera, who I wasn't a big fan of, and Jin, who felt useless in my opinion. My favorite character was Olivier. I mean, he's so handsome, he's hilarious, and he is amazing. I fell in love with that guy. He's the best. Aside from the slow start, it was a great game, and I enjoyed almost every minute of it. The academy part was the only section I didn't like much. The story was amazing, and the last dungeon was pretty cool. Also the cliffhanger at the end. Oh my god, I was speechless.
What the fuck?
So, I give this rank A. Trail in the Sky SC now. This is the game that made me fall in love with the series and its story. I mean, the SC started with so much drama, thanks to the first game cliffhanger. And we meet one of the coolest characters in the entire series, Kevin. What I love is that this game introduced the main antagonist group, Ouroboros, for the first time. I thought they were pretty cool. The only enforcer I didn't really like that much was Luciola, which, by the way, what happened to her? I don't know. She never showed up in the entire series anymore. So, well, aside from that, the others were great though. Especially, well, Louvet. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but god, this guy was freaking cool. Then there is Blobla, who was fabulous. Ouroboros was such a strong antagonist, especially with Wiseman. That was a good anguish. Even though we revisit Lebel in that game, it was still fun to explore. The story was incredible. So much happened in the first game, and we learned a lot more about the universe of this trail. And let's not forget the amazing soundtrack. I would say my favorite part in the game was still just one moment after escaping the Glorious. Louvet showing up at the end. Sucked that he died, man. It sucks so hard. So bad. I'm so mad that he died. He was such a cool dude. And the other moment that I liked was Rice, man. turn into salt. Everything was good in this game, which is why I rank it A, higher than Trail in the Sky. I fell in love with that one. Oh my god. Trail in the Sky the third. Compared to other Trail games, the third felt very different, since it was more a dungeon crawler than a traditional JRPG. I didn't like that we weren't exploring any country like in FC and SC. Also, the door with extra cutscene were easy to miss, and requiring completion of minigame to unlock important scene, like the one related to Ouroboros. That was kind of frustrating. Yeah, I can watch them on YouTube, but I mean, that sucks still. That said though, the main story was awesome, and some side stories were great too. Kevin is such a great character, and learning more about him, his dark past and personal struggle, I love that. For real, Kevin became quickly one of my favorite characters of the entire series, just because of that game. Too bad he don't show up in future game, by the way. Aside maybe a little in Azure, and the next game Beyond Horizon. They should show him more, because this guy is freaking awesome. Ren's story was also incredible, dark and awful. I didn't expect Falcom to go that far already, to be honest.
This one's for you, Ren. Do you need a snack before you go in?
No, but the player will definitely need a therapist when it's over.
Can understand why she became the Angel of Slaughter. But she's really a strong girl though, to have survived all of this mess. So the story content and character in the third was fantastic. But the dungeon crawler gameplay bring it down to a B, unfortunately. Cause yeah, the dungeon crawler thing wasn't my favorite thing. And that's why, yeah, I wish I could put it higher, but the dungeon crawler, I didn't like it. Trail from Zero now. The Crossbelt arc is one of my favorites in this series. By the way, Crossbelt became my favorite city. So this is a new arc after the Sky that takes place 1 year after, I think, if I remember, or 6 months. I really love the SSS team there, except Ellie. Sorry, but it is what it is. She's useful for healing, but that's it. It was fun exploring a new, more modern country than Liberal. And it was really interesting to see all the technology advancement are. And this time you played in police instead of bracer. That felt fresh. I really enjoyed the story, fighting gang, dealing with the mafia, Revash, uncovering the DG cult, and conducting investigation. One of the best scenes was near the end, when the military, under the influence of the Genesis, a droid that make people more powerful, but they can be mind controlled, attacked the team in the street, in the middle of the street, in the town. Everyone was against us. They only to flee the army, man. And the chief got shot. Oh no. That was such an amazing scene. Another highlight was when we escaping the mafia auction. That event was so cool, especially in the end, when Randy show off against Garcia. Wow. Man, Randy's such a good man. He's great. I like it too, the cameo about Estelle and Joshua and Ren, who even got some closure about her parents. They even joined us and became playable at the last dungeon. At least Estelle and Joshua, not Ren. So it was really fun and nostalgic. But Ren show up at the end and save us. And then she finally stayed with the bride. And thus they became the Bright family. The new Bright family. Yeah, Cassius is lucky. He have amazing children. And the dungeon at the end, in general, no. I would say the dungeon in general were mostly all fun. Yeah, but the final one, yes, was the best. And the music was, as each trail, excellent. There's not really much I dislike in that game, to be honest. So I would put it rank A. But I would say below SC. Yeah, below SC. SC is better, but Fate Zero was great, but I think SC was better for me. Trail from Azure. This is one of my favorite. A true masterpiece. The story was insane and amazing. Terrorist attack, the destruction of Crossbell, which nearly killed a lot of people innocent, Guerrilla Fortress being wiped out. So much happened. The Red Constellation were a great villain, and I loved Randy connection to them. Sigmund, his uncle, was so cool. I really liked him and his design. The big beefy guy, yeah, that guy was awesome. Ouroboros was also involved again, and we saw for the first time two new Anguis, like Norventus and the Seal Maiden. Don't like Norventus at all, but the Seal Maiden on the other hand, she was freaking cool. Also, I need not forget her 3 Knight, especially Duvali. She's the best girl. The other I don't really care. The cliffhanger at the end of each chapter were mind-blowing, like the reveal that the Qua family was behind everything, that Arios was helping them, and that Grimwood was the mastermind. For real, I was so speechless. Oh no. No, wait! No. Wait a second. Okay. I can't process this. Are you fucking kidding me? I thought he was a nice guy. When they revealed that and destroyed the Guerrilla Fortress like it was nothing. But it's cool to have Noel and Wazzy join the team too. I will also say that my favorite is when Lloyd escaped prison with Garcia. Was really a cool scene. The Azure 3 was a really nice dungeon. By the way, it was quite fun. I forgot to mention too, even if he's briefly show up, I was really happy to see Kevin again. Wish he had more screen time, but oh well. The music as always was phenomenal. And the final boss fight was epic. And his music too. So this game totally deserves a S rank. And I would say, Rip Patter Matter, you will be missed. Trail Cold Seal 1. This was the first trail game in 3D. And while that was fun, Cold Seal wasn't the best in my opinion. And didn't enjoy the academy setting at all. Most of the time was spent doing tasks for Toa and helping other students instead of stuff related to military activity, which would make sense in a military academy. Also, I felt Class 7 had maybe too many characters. Some like Machias and Gaius, I felt that it was unnecessary in the Class 7. I also disliked the field trip system to explore the zone of the game and not being able to explore them freely, like Crossbell and Libel. The fact that you could go with all the character, or at least see what happened on their side, was kinda bad too. The story was just okay, but I didn't find the terrorist compelling villain, except for Crow, when we learned EC and show his true color. I did like the ending, but not the part where Crow beat Green, and then he escaped and sees friend. No, I want to escape. That felt like a joke. I talk about the scene when Vita show up in the Imperial City with the Rebel, and that the Osborn got shot by Crow. And then you see the big spaceship arrive, and that was a great scene. What I didn't enjoy too was the explosion of Carrier Fortress, which, well, didn't really happen. Wait, it happened, we did see it, but still, and the Chancellor gets shot. Even though he was already dead. But we didn't know that yet. Even the music by the way wasn't memorable like previous game. I didn't like really the music of the Trail Cold Seal 1. So yeah, this one would go to C. Trail Cold Seal 2. This game was better than the first Cold Seal. We weren't in school anymore, and the story was darker and sadder. Yes, we had terrorists as enemy, but the first game was way more happy, in my opinion. This time we were in the middle of a civil war, trying to find our missing friend and stop the conflict. The Civil War storyline was more interesting, a lot more cool stuff happened, and we learned more about Erebonia and the Divine Knight. By the way, we had this new gameplay, which were like mech battle with Valimar, and that was awesome. Character also started to develop more, Emma, Marine, and US in particular. The music was much better than the first game, and the final dungeon was pretty fun. When we fight Blowblanc, make burn, that was fun. The cliffhanger at the end was quite astonishing. I didn't expect Osborn to be Reen's father.
I am your father.
Still feel sad for the bird, but oh well. We first had to show up badass. You need to be badass when you show up. As for the Reverie corridor at the end, I felt it was unnecessary. I liked the goodbye scene when they all cry, say their goodbye. That was a cute moment. But creating a whole dungeon just for that, with that boss that was there for nothing. Is it dangerous? Yeah, are you dangerous? No. We destroy something? No. The boss was just like, I'm just there to be beat. Okay. Just useless. Still, the extra chapter after with Lloyd and Riksha was a nice touch. despite the flaw, it was still a good game. So I would put it B tier. But I would say the third... no. There, because I prefer Kevin. Just because I like Kevin, I would put it there. Trail of Cold Steel 3. This one was much better than the first two, with beautiful graphic. The gameplay, even if it had a lot of similarity than the previous games, was more fun. Especially the mech fight. I like it that Reen and the original Class 7 had graduated, and they were now doing their own thing, with Reen as an instructor instead of a student. The school part was more enjoyable this time. All the students who are not from Class 7 take really part of the story this time, instead of be just there at the start of each chapter when you're at school. They follow you through each chapter. They're always there. They always side quests with them. So that was cool. It did have also much time and opportunity to know them all, and at least maybe like them. Also, I think it was cool to see Reen train a new Class 7. This new Class 7 wasn't as good as the original, in my opinion, except for maybe 4 of them. And Altina, I think Altina was better like a million, in my opinion. I really love Altina. I love Muse too, but only when she is in tactician mode. Seeing returning character like Tita, Brandy and Theo was a threat. It was fun to see a treat. I mean, the story was enjoyable. Not amazing, but still good. To be honest, when Ouroboros is there, it's always add excitement. Visiting ML for the first time and finally see it was interesting. Also, returning to Crossbell was so nostalgic. That was so happy. That was so awesome artistically. The story changed during the game. One of the best twists, I would say, was when Ash shot the Emperor at the party. The way we explored the zone, similar to Code Steel 2, was also so much too. There was so much fun. Even if everything was great and fun though, I would put it on a B. Better than Cold Steel. Yeah, I would say no. There. So, because of the ending, I would put him between the two. Because the ending was more intense than the Trail of Cold Steel 2. When Reen lose control, Minion dying, the curse spreading crazy, all these stuff. I wasn't ready for this. No, you know what? No, IB. Yeah, because of the ending, no. The way it's end, I know, IB. Now, Trail of Cold Steel 4. The best game in the Cold Steel arc, in my opinion. I love the idea of starting with the other character from previous arc, Estelle, Joshua, Ren, Ellie, and Lloyd, instead of Class 7, because they're all in the shit right now. We didn't have the chance to play them long, but it was fun. Seeing them in 3D for the first time, all grew up, was so nostalgic too. Ren, now a teenager. God, kid grew fast. I found that really cool too that we start the first chapter with Class 7 but without the main protagonist, Reen. By the way, the Extant Clan Village, in the forest as our first hub, was beautiful and magical, with amazing music. I hated when Gilbert attacked it though. But anyway, It was refreshing to not start with Reen. We now need saving. Like Cold Steel 2, the story was dark and emotional, but this time it was about a curse spreading across all the country. The character mourning million death really hit hard too. The first half without Reen was a bit boring though, but it's got really exciting when it announced his return. One of my favorite moments, by the way, was when we attacked the Black Workshop. We play everyone, including Reen, now corrupted with human form, and Celine, that became a human cat, to help him escape. And also we discovered a lot of gnome secret there. That was pretty awesome. My second favorite part was the big meetup at the Panta Grill. To be honest, I was even more happy to see Cassius there, with almost every major character. That was unforgettable. I'm not a fan normally of part in games when you just need blah blah blah, talk a lot with NPC. But this time around, that was really different. Too bad it's not a long part though. It was really amazing. I can't wait to see another scene like this in a future game. As for the rest of the story, I would say I enjoy every part. After Reen return, at least. All the plot twists and reveal about Ishmelga was so freaking insane that I didn't expect to be him behind everything. Last thing to say, having a sad and good ending with an additional boss was a great idea. I was confused at first why there was a bad ending and a good ending, but when you understand why, it's another story and it makes sense. With that said, I rank Cold Steel 4 A tier. Because there is character from Zero and the Sky, I will put him there. I still think SC is better though. Trail into Reverie. This game is top tier S rank. My favorite series. Let's go there. The structure that we have 3 protagonist route was really a cool idea. It gives you a chance to choose which route you want to start first, and I think it was really cool. Also giving you a different perspective of each protagonist view about the story. Second, every playable character from the past game except Jin, I don't know why, was there. I need to use all of them. That was so exciting. Plus, it takes place at Crossbell, my favorite city. The story was really good and brought closure to both Crossbell, sorry, and the Empire arc. It was a bit confusing at first, but once we learn about Elysium, it's got really interesting. Then we have the Reverie corridor. That were very much better than Phantasma or Cold Steel 2 corridor, which I think he was useless. The Daydream were fun, done some were better than other. I wasn't a big fan of the quest system. It wasn't real side quests. I think that would have been better, that mission. That all you need to play which character with tell which weapon or in bikini, all this shitty stuff. Then we have the ending, where we get McBurn as a character. We have the chance to play him, and God, he's an awesome guy. And in the ending, everyone joined for the final boss. Yeah, McBurn don't show up there, but he show up after for the post game. And when we are the final boss, it was epic. To see every hero, each previous arc, together to fight a boss. The Ring conversation was deep. I wasn't a fan of Rufus' new role that he was now redeemed and something like that. I think Rufus was cooler as a villain. Now I don't like him as like I did. Then post-game content was great too, with more floor in the corridor. And I found out reference to Azure, which was the last boss of the post-game. Loved it. Also, let's not forget the scene with our Boros, Grandmaster, and the Calvar President to announce the next Trail game. Trail to Daybreak. I have a mixed feeling about this game and the series in general. I'm really happy that we finally in the country of Calvard. It's quite an interesting place. The problem is I don't feel like we explored it that much. In Lebel or Crossbell, you could explore almost or revisit area freely. The same applied to Cold Seal, especially in 2 and 4, where you get to explore the entire map at certain point in the game. In Daybreak, every time you go to a new zone, you get there by car ride, but you cannot control it. And when you're in town or a city, you mostly stop there, just exploring the city itself. You couldn't really go outside this area, like the previous game. I wish we could at least ride the car, like when Reen did with the motorcycle. As for the story, I must enjoy every minute of it. I think it was a good one, though I still don't think it was the best as of the previous game. It was good, but not the best. I really like it. It's something more darker and bloody than the other game, and that we saw more people dying, I believe. We even got to see the shadier side of the world. Even if Van himself doesn't seem shady at all. Honestly, a quiet solution feel like it does the same kind of work of the Bracer. We didn't really do anything at all shady in the game, maybe just once. Van doesn't have a code like Bracer do, that's true, but still. Speaking of our quiet solution, aside from Vano and Agnes, I wasn't a big fan of the other member. Very full, almost like a copy-paste of B. Reset remind me a lot of Sharon. What really like charisma and is boring in my opinion. And Judith is just an idiot. Almada wasn't an interesting group either. Only the boss Dantes for me was freaking cool. The other that was with him, nah, there wasn't a good group, I would be honest. Dantes is an amazing villain, by the way, and has become one of my favorites. Aside from the Eros member, of course. Speaking of the society, they introduced 2 new members in this game. One is an enforcer named Lucrezia. She's a pretty cool lady with a great design. The same goes for the second member, one of the Anguists, R. Wood. That guy is just awesome. Aside from that, the gameplay was fantastic. The ability to switch between turn-based and real-time combat was a great idea. It's really made the game feel fluid and fun to play. Even with everything considered, I still place Daybreak in a B tier. Probably between these two. Next, the last game. For now, Trail to Daybreak 2. It was one of the worst games in the entire series. When a movie, book, or games start messing up with time, it's usually become bad and confusing. And this game wasn't not exception. I will be honest, the time rewind that happened during the game sucked. Because of it, the story felt meaningless, since we were able to fix everything thanks to the rewind. But the saddest part is that the story itself was just plain bad. I was confused for most of the game. It felt like Falcom threw all their interesting idea into a blender. The only part that was genuinely interesting and exciting was Nemeth Island. There were a few other cool moments and twists, but the time rewind made them feel pointless. Also, why did we even have a VR world to explore in that game? It felt completely useless. I really hope the next game fixes the story problem. As for the character, at least, that part was better. That was really happy that Swin and Nadia were back. Ryan was playable, and Arwood returned. Honestly, he could have been the main villain of that game instead of that lame storybook villain that basically a guy from the past that was stuck in a relic. It suddenly came out and he wanted to change the revolution. He didn't accept the revolution. But Return to You is storybook, man. And being stuck in edit for most of the game, that was so boring. I won't. Half of the game, we stayed the damn freaking city, man. That was annoying. Anyway, as you can see, I didn't enjoy that game much, especially because of the story and the bad boss, the bad villain. That's why I rank this game a freaking C. And I would say even below Cold Steel. No, I would say Cold Steel 1 is... No, it's not worse. No. So yeah, take that, Daybreak 2. Go to hell. So guys, that was my tier list about the Trail series games. Of course, I could have said so much more about each games, but my video is long enough already. If you are interested to hear more about my thought of each game, well, you can find them in my thought video in my channel, or everything about Trail playlist. Now, what I'm interested to know, it's you guys. What was your favorite Trail games? And what was the worst? Feel free to leave a comment. I would really like to know. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I'm doing short theory video, tier list, review of game, playthrough, and game lore video. I'm also streaming mostly every night at 7 PM EST on this channel or on Twitch. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Dragons offline.